That's a bit of a different photo than I often have up there. I usually have my daughter's baptism, don't I? That's my baptism. So I'm the little tacker. And I have been held by Dad, who some of you have met, and Mum. And then behind Mum is Grandpa Watts, so Gordon Watts, that's Dad's dad. And then foreground, but on the far right, is Francis William Watts, who's Gordon's dad, so my great-grandfather. Yeah, so sometimes at these special events that we have in our lives, we do lots of gathering, don't we? Gathering of family, sort of wide reaches of the family, and sometimes we go back through generations and have that sort of past representation in the family, as well as the present spread of the family. And sometimes when we have those sort of gatherings, we think about people make comments and they, oh, it's got dad's eyes. Oh, no, it's got mum's eyes. Or it's got mum's chin, or, you know, we do that sort of thing, don't we, with babies and kids generally as they grow. Look at some of the physical features, and then as they get a little bit older and they develop their own little characters and mannerisms, we sometimes make comment about those things too, don't we? In terms of who they come from or whether they're purely unique to that kid. Often the parents will say they're purely unique. I think I made a comment the other day that sometimes it's a bit unfortunate that our kids take after us, because you get, they're a bit like a mirror, aren't they? You can see some of our less favourable characteristics in our kids. And sometimes we talk about skills and gifts also that get handed down. And we also, especially in this sort of context of baptism, can think about faith being handed down. Timothy was a young leader in his Christian community and clearly having a tough time and getting very down and overwhelmed, struggling. And so part of the reason behind this letter from Paul is an encouragement to Timothy. And one of the things he says is that he can see a sincere faith living within Timothy, and points out how it lived first in his grandmother, Lois, and also in his mother Eunice. And this letter to Timothy reminds him of how that faith has been passed on to him through the generations, and through Paul also as a mentor. So sometimes, you know, it's not just our families. Sometimes it's kind of almost the opposite. The family don't give us any faith. Sometimes it's other key people in our lives. Maybe we might use the word mentor sometimes these days. It just could be very important people to us as we're growing and developing and following in our discipleship of Jesus. A sign of God being with Timothy all the times through these various people that have taught him faith and given him faith through his mother and grandmother before him. And so Timothy is trying to point out that Timothy is in a community of faith. And that community of faith can transcend time. It's not just in one time and one place. It can be from the past into the present and into the future. And that's the way it is with us too. There are those who have gone before us, living out their faith through thick and thin, ups and downs. They may be previous generations within our family. They may be, as I said, key people in our past or in our family's past who've passed on the faith to others. God is with us in the past, in the present, and the future. The other way this encouraging word is expressed by Paul is for Timothy. He says to rekindle the gift of God that is within. I like that sort of idea that it's deep down inside there. It hasn't sort of vanished and taken off altogether. It's deep down inside, and this word rekindle, bringing it up again, allowing it to come up again. That gift handed and given to him by the faithful ones before him that lies deep inside. And then Luke's Gospel gives us the sharp edge or the disturbing poke and prod of that gift and what it means for us. This faith which we have received, this faith which we teach and hand on to our little ones, this faith which we give and share with others is only ours by the grace of God. Just as we see and hear it in the sacrament of baptism, by God's grace, baptism plunges us into the faith of Jesus Christ, so that whatever is his may be called ours. By water and the Spirit we are claimed as God's own. So for each of us here, Jesus Christ has come, has lived, has suffered, has died and rose again. And he prays for us even before we were born. We live out our faith. Those who went before us lived out their faith. We share that faith because God first loved us. This sense of gift, sense of grace is often really hard for us to live. We can think about it in our heads, but it's often hard for us to live. So there's this little parable Jesus told that we cannot sit back and think, well, I've done it, I've been good, I've achieved a lot, I can sit back and relax now. That's the little story about all the workers coming in at the end of the day, relaxing because they've earned their reward. No, the parable's saying, and Jesus is saying, our value, our worth, is not something we can earn through achievement. I'm just a baby. A helpless baby. I can't do anything there. I can't achieve anything. I've only become who I am today because of all the love and the nurture and the faith and the care that's been given to me over many years. Passed on to me through my life, through family, through friends, through mentors, through guides, through strangers, by God and by grace. And that goes to the heart of being human. It's crucial for us all, particularly crucial for those who are perceived as achieving little. That might be little tiny young kids, but it could be other people who are seen as of less worth because they can't achieve as much. It could be people with disabilities, it could be people with a chronic illness, it could be people who are just frail, or could be people who are born with a condition that they'll have for their whole life. Sometimes it can be a temporary time that we go through where we're able to do less or achieve less, be useful or be useless, and temporarily be crippled by circumstance. Mightn't be a physical thing, could be emotional crippling, accident, injury, grief, mental illness, loss of employment. And so any of us can be perceived as able to achieve little in some periods of our lives. When we make achievement the measure of worth, some people will come out very low on the scale. And Jesus' comments are kind of turning that around and subverting that system. Earlier in Luke's Gospel, in response to criticism that Jesus was spending too much time with the so-called worthless people, he told us stories suggesting God was like a caring parent who never ceases to love. We're valued because of who we are, loved by God, claimed by God. The more we become convinced of that gift, of that grace, the less we need to play the other game, trying to achieve more and more, trying to get more and more, trying to take more and more, trying to keep more and more in order to find success and happiness. The more we're convinced that our worth, our value, our faith is given to us in God's love, the less those other ways will matter, and the less we will be preoccupied with making ourselves deserving, and the more value and love we can give to others, the more energy and time we have for others. There we go. Sometimes doing it in purely with words and sermon-like ways, well, that helps in some ways, but sometimes stories can help too. And I wanted to share a bit about Auntie Janet. That's Auntie Janet. On this occasion, she was doing a blessing. Women have got to bless. There's apparently a tradition. Women need to bless boats, ships, boats. It's a maritime tradition that one dare not change. And a mining company had put on a new boat to help service the mine. And the mine was on Aboriginal country, and they had arrangements with the local Aboriginal people, so they asked Auntie Janet to do the blessing. Now this was one moment which captured her. The boat was called, it was given a name of a fish, but it was an Aboriginal word in the Wurundjeri language. So Auntie Janet sang the song that went with that fish and that word, and which is a story in itself. But I always liked this photo just because it looked like she was digging deep down inside to bring up that, it's like this thing with Timothy, to bring up that faith deep inside, to rekindle it and allow it to come up and be shared. She was born in the middle of the Japanese bombing of Broome, and that was, so, like many Aboriginal people, she ended up not having any records of her birth officially. But fortunately, when she eventually got back to the mission, further up in very remote country, the missionaries wrote down something. So that helped later on in life. And she's like many people. Her life story is influenced by all the things going on around her within her community and her families. And for them, there was a lot of disruption, such that her mother was around sometimes, but not all the time. So she's probably brought up more by her grandmother. And she went through one time where her grandfather was killed, and by some others as part of all this disruption that was going on. And she in a sense, she often referred to her grandmother as one person, if you like Timothy's grandmother, who taught her so much about life, about her culture and about faith. And she, like many young people in the 50s and 60s, went astray in different ways, went her own way in different ways, and then that faith became rekindled pretty much through her marriage and her relationship with her husband and their connection with the church. And she today is one of the very strong people of faith and strong people of culture. Her story of faith, her relationship with God, received and lived by her people through thousands of years, and rekindled from deep within her in such a way that gives her tremendous strength. Doesn't mean she has a perfectly blissful life. She still goes on having a very difficult life. And ending up having to look after many of her grandkids. She's the grandmother looking after the grandkids and trying to pass on the strength and the faith. And that gives her plenty of heartache and pain and suffering. But that faith that she received and was rekindled plays a role in giving her that great strength. And she now plays that role in passing on that faith to others. So like Timothy, we're called to reflect on where our faith comes from and what it's doing at the moment, and whether it needs, I think it always needs rekindling and allowing it to rise up into flame and to be shared, to highlight that gift that we receive from God. Amen.